When you fire this baby up and you stand in it, you can get not only the richest bath of electrons, it's an electron bath that goes all the way to every cell of your body, including your bones, and balances all the chakras and meridians of energy in your body. Every Oriental Chinese expert agrees that this is the ultimate way to do it. And it makes their work easier because it's automatic and it's a machine doing it, etc. And it's the genius of its killing. But when you stand in this for 30 minutes, it burns 500 to 700 calories. It's the equivalent of 4 hours of hard working out in the gym. And quite frankly, anybody that's sick, let alone anybody that's smart, isn't taking their clothes off in some public gym and waiting there in line on a machine and trying to park and the stress of, and then doing it 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week. Well, that's what we're forced to do because there's never been an alternative like this. And quite frankly, I have sports trainers, trains the Phoenix Suns, some expert genius kind of physical therapy guys. They love it. They do it. They all want one in their house because it changes any human organism you stick in it. We have a practitioner over in Missouri, and he and his wife have been treating catastrophic illness for over 20 years. They're great practitioners, and they're very experienced. Well, it took them 3 months to figure out to try to go ahead and get one of these. It was a big decision for them. They cost $24,700, price of a cheap car. And compared to your life and your health and getting in shape and everything else, we spend a lot more than that, just vitamins and all these goofy things we try. And, you know, we should keep trying. That's what makes us ripe and prepared for these kind of innovations when they come along. But they had multiple life-changing experiences. They bought one. It was a big decision. It took them 3 months to finally decide to do it. They had that thing 2 months and bought another one. So that should tell you a lot. They had one patient come in, and she said, "Can I bring a friend with me?" And they said, "Well, sure." They're in Missouri. They're friendly people. And so this lady shows up, and she's got this guy, and they have to help get him in because he's in a wheelchair. But they see catastrophic illness people all the time. They reel him in, they get him started. And he was in really sad shape. They said, "You know, you probably need to do this a couple of times a day." So they stayed, and he started doing it 2 times a day. And he did it for 2 weeks. They opened it up 6 days a week for him. They didn't know until the 3rd day that this lady was picking him up at hospice. It was checkout time for him. No hope, nothing. When they say hospice, you should have already gotten your affairs in order because that could be any minute. And long story short, in 2 weeks of doing it twice a day, this guy went back to work. They produced a video of this testimony and all the others that they've had in their clinic, and they're on YouTube. You can go to Photon Genius, PHOTONGENIUS.com, and there's all these videos of doctors, medical doctors, alternative doctors, colon therapists, massage therapists, people that aren't practitioners that have gotten them and started clinics. Some people have them in their homes, and they treat everybody at the church. So there's multiple applications, of course, and the world is so sick, we have so few alternatives that actually do something and actually noticeably work. And I promise you, this is a 30-minute session. All the skilling technology has a 30-day money-back guarantee and has for 51 years. And we don't do it unless some family member dies before they get the instrument. If they try it, they usually keep it. The Photon Genius has a 30-minute money-back guarantee. You can't do this for 30 minutes without saying, "Oh my gosh, can I do this tomorrow?" It just changes you. One of the other things they've noticed is that when you utilize this technology, because it's like an electron bath for the energy of your body, which is trillions of cells that never get enough energy, there is no way to get it hard except by accident. If you use just the noble gas technology, because you can control the settings on this, you can go near, far infrared, and everything in between, above and below. It's the first time in history of infrared you could do that. But the noble gas energy electron bath alone If you do this for an hour before you go into bed or just go lay down, it's like an out-of-body experience. It's more balance of harmonic, coherent energy than the human body has ever experienced. And, you know, at edskilling.com, EDSKILLING.com, you can read about a lot of this. And Ed Skilling, and his famous quote, which is right on the front page of his website, is, "The only known cure for cancer is your own God-given immune system. All he did is figured out how to communicate with it and power it up." That's the final word on this subject about claims, etc. Ed Skilling, you know, when I first met him, I said, you know, you try to think of something appropriate to say to somebody that's an electronics genius. The best in the world in a field this complex is electronics. So I met him and I said, Mr. Skilling, I want to thank you for saving my life. He said, I didn't save your life. I said, well, your instrument did. He said, no, it didn't. I said, you need to help me figure this. You need to explain. I've got some lymphatic tumors, and I use this 4 or 5 weeks, and they're gone. Well, you know, he said, Warren, the only known cure for cancer is your own God-given immune system. All I did is figured out how to communicate with it and power it up. That's how simple this is. And anytime you have a genius-level expert in a complex field like electronics with a pure, honest, sweet spirit, with no ego, and not doing it for money, that's where these breakthroughs come, is out of that kind of spirit. So it's a breakthrough technology that's found its time, and time is now.
Warren, what was that Addy, that URL you gave a while ago? Was that Skilling.com?
Ed Skilling.
Ed Skilling.
EDSKILLING.com.
Because I posted the wrong one on the chat.
That's okay. It's easy to fix. And the videos for the Photon Genius are on, you can get to them on that site, or also on PhotonGenius.com, PHOTONGENIUS.com. They're posting them up every day. We got practitioners and owners in about 13 states now, and it changes every week. And practitioners are now getting multiple units for different rooms, different separate clinics, one for the house, one for the clinic. We originally thought that 80% of these would go to practitioners, and, you know, some individuals may buy them. It's turned out the opposite. 80% of these go to individuals that buy them and put them in their house. And, you know, when you're dealing with something serious and you got a family that you're serious about, it's simple. Park this sucker in the corner of a bedroom. It's a horseshoe shape, so it doesn't take up much room. It's about 55 inches across, about 29, 39 inches deep, and it's about 6.5 feet tall. And you just stand in this circumference of 205 degrees of electron energy bath, infrared targeted, controlled, and you have all the controls of all of this and any combination of this. And it's endless. The only limit to how you use this is your own creativity, because the technology's there, the power's there, and you do it in proportion to what your need is. If you got stage 4 cancer, you should be doing this 3 times a day and have the capability of not just doing 3 30-minute sessions a day. Pick a day and do 8 10-minute ones. You can't monkey around with this crud. It's an enemy. Cancer is not a disease you treat. It's an enemy you beat. It's on the cover of a book I have coming out the end of this year. It's real simple. You don't approach an enemy the way you do a disease. A disease, you find a doctor and get a treatment. Well, cancer is an enemy. You need weapons. You need a military strategy. You need to be conditioning. You need to be training. You need to be in boot camp. Oh, this opponent will take your butt clean out. And it's doing millions of people every day, all over the world. And this is the master of genius-level electronic technology to deal with it, and it's very, very, very effective. And the genius makes it so obvious, so quick. It's just amazing. They've already nicknamed it a miracle machine. And the miracle is not the machine. It's praise the Lord, thank you, Creator, for giving you special forces in your body to kick these punks out of your body and whip them and keep them under control. But they need weapons. They need power. They need ammo. And that's what these technologies do.
Well, your point earlier today when you were doing your lecture for the conference here was it, why wait? Why wait till you're hurting?
The bugs ain't waiting. You know, the bug's brutal. You know, everybody, medical doctors won't talk about it much because they don't understand much about it. They're trained in where these organs are, how to get them out, and how to replace them. That's it. The Orientals, who mastered the body for 5,000 years, the masters know what organ to work, in which order, how the blood works, how pH affects oxygen levels in the blood, how to fix the liver by fixing the gallbladder first, how to not detox the body without strengthening the kidney first. You could never get a doctor to talk to you about any of these things. They don't have the training. It doesn't mean that they're weak or lame. They pay a big price. They go to school 14 years. They spend all their family's money, and they learned a lot of stuff. Congratulations. But if you got a bug on board, if you got an enemy, a pathogen like cancer that mutates, every time you hit it with something, it mutates and adapts to it, you're talking about some kind of sophisticated enemy here. If you can't be just treating it,
well,
that's like sending missionaries to Afghanistan to treat the terrorists. They better be packaged.
How long does the average person have a condition like that before they usually know it or feel it or sense it?
The average person has cancer since they get here. We're born with precancerous cells. In the placenta around the baby, there's cells that are mimic and actually, they say, are identical in how they function to cancer cells. And look, all a cancer cell is a good cell gone bad. Well, how do they go bad? Well, what kind of life are we living? You're raised in a house that nobody knows anything about anything other than you better eat everything on your plate. Not is this good for the chemistry of your body, is it good for your blood? Actually, it's going to inflame your blood and turn on your immune system and wear it out, so by the time you're 30 or 40, you catch everything, and by the time you're 50, 60, cancer's taking an organ and looking for the rest of them. That's how it works. So, the number one rule about these pathogens and bugs is, why breed them and feed them? What is this any way to treat an enemy? In ancient times, if they had an enemy and they identified where they were, and they didn't want to risk the lives of any of their troops, they just surround them and starve them out. You're never going to get anybody to consider that because they don't understand that these pathogens, so we just keep feeding them by accident. Well, by accident or on purpose, if you feed an enemy, he's still going to get stronger and kill you. And that's exactly what happens with these things. They now know by medical studies the average person has cancer 7 or 8 times in their life, and the immune system keeps it under control every time. You never know it. You don't know what your immune system's doing right now. It's saving your butt every second, every minute from pathogens that are multiplying, mutating. If it wasn't for your immune system, by the way, if it wasn't for your immune system, cancer would kill you in 3 days.
Hypochlorous acid.
Hey, listen, you better praise your Creator for blessing you with these kind of special forces that you could get away with murder and not die until it's 50 years later.
What other sort of things is this really good for?